It's like J-Lo like was like his ex-girlfriend, and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, zero. Okay.
Check it out. Can I rock with you to something? I want to dedicate a song to you. Check it out.
Which one? Which one?
Nah, you gotta just get ready. You good?
Look at that beard.
You like the beard? You like?
You know I like that.
At first, I didn't like him at all. You know, I didn't. I thought he was like, you know.
Jennifer Lopez has just been pulled into the center of a scandal that's shaking the entertainment world to its core. Shocking new claims suggest that J-Lo wasn't just Diddy's girlfriend back in the day. She may have played a much bigger role in his alleged criminal empire than anyone ever imagined. Rumors are now swirling that Jennifer was so close to Diddy's inner circle, some even believe she may have acted as his handler, helping to orchestrate and manage his notorious freak-off parties behind the scenes. What's even more mind-blowing? Elon Musk and Joe Rogan allegedly hinted at this exact theory not long ago, subtly suggesting that J-Lo might know a lot more than she's ever let on. And now, the question on everyone's mind is, if there's truth to these whispers, why hasn't Jennifer Lopez faced any consequences? Because if these rumors hold any weight, she could be just as complicit as Diddy himself. Even more disturbing, it's being said that Jennifer may have been present and remained silent during one of Diddy's most horrifying, unspeakable acts. She didn't intervene. She didn't speak out. She just kept quiet. And that silence is now speaking volumes. This changes everything. If what's being said is even partially true, it forces all of us to see Jennifer Lopez in a completely different light. But let's rewind for a second. Remember when Jennifer Lopez and Diddy were a thing? It might be hard to picture now, with today's ultra-glam, polished J-Lo who headlines Vegas shows and walks red carpets like royalty. But back in the late 90s and early 2000s, she and Diddy were one of the most talked-about couples in Hollywood. At the time, Diddy was untouchable, dominating hip-hop, running Bad Boy Records, and living like a king. Meanwhile, Jennifer was a rising superstar. Her music was climbing the charts, her movies were box office gold, and her fashion was setting trends. When they got together, it wasn't just a relationship. It was a cultural event. They reportedly met while working on her debut album On the Six, right after her first divorce. Diddy made his move quickly, claiming it was love at first sight. At first,
that Puff and Jennifer would at that club, because that was kind of like a very regular hip-hop club. No A-list celebrities go there.
We had a bunch of ballers in there and a couple of them that were just being extremely antagonistic towards Puffy and his group of friends. From that point forward, you know, alcohol kept flowing and tension kept building.
Puffy and Shine allegedly got into an argument with another partier shortly before 3 a.m. Someone tossed a wad of cash at Combs as a sign of disrespect. Suddenly, all hell broke loose.
Lo wasn't feeling his whole bad boy energy, but that quickly changed. The chemistry was undeniable, and soon enough they were inseparable. Their big debut as a couple came at the MTV VMAs, and when they hit that red carpet together, the media went into overdrive. The tough, street-smart rap mogul and the glamorous Latina pop queen, it was the kind of pairing no one expected but everyone loved. The paparazzi followed their every move. Fans were obsessed. For a moment, it looked like nothing could touch them. But, like so many of J-Lo's high-profile relationships, the drama wasn't far behind. And nothing was more explosive than what went down in December 1999, the night when Diddy's carefully crafted image began to unravel. It was a cold New York evening when headlines across the country erupted with breaking news. Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs had been arrested after what was described as a full-on, Hollywood-style police chase through the streets of Manhattan. For years, no one really knew what happened that chaotic night in 1999. The headlines were wild, the rumors even wilder, and the truth buried deep until now. Thanks to a lawsuit filed years later, we've finally gotten our hands on some disturbing details. Details that not only show how deeply connected Jennifer Lopez and Diddy really were, but also reveal just how far Jenny, allegedly, went to protect him. Buckle up, because this is where things go off the rails. According to the lawsuit, on that very night, Diddy handed Jennifer an illegal weapon. Yes, that kind of weapon. And asked her to bring it inside the club. And once they were in, things spiraled out of control. Diddy reportedly got into a heated altercation and ended up using that very weapon, the same one Jennifer had allegedly smuggled in for him. The result? 3 people were seriously injured. Panic broke out, and suddenly it was full-blown chaos. Diddy, J-Lo, and rapper Shine, who had rolled up to the club with them, bolted from the scene. What followed was nothing short of a Hollywood movie. A high-speed police chase ripping through the streets of New York City. According to police reports, the trio jumped into the back of Diddy's SUV with his driver and bodyguard up front. Cops showed up just as the vehicle was pulling off. They shouted for the driver to stop, but instead he swerved around a patrol car and led police on an 11-block pursuit. When they were finally stopped, officers discovered a loaded weapon sitting right in the front seat. Meanwhile, back at the club, Shine was taken into custody. Everyone involved was booked, including Jennifer Lopez. She reportedly spent the night crying, shaken, a total mess. And who could blame her? Her entire career, everything she'd worked for, was suddenly hanging by a thread. Getting arrested wasn't just embarrassing, it was career-threatening. For J-Lo, this was way outside her comfort zone. But for Diddy, just another day in the life. The media went feral. Headlines exploded. Paparazzi were on overdrive. No one could believe that Jennifer Lopez, glamorous, polished, poised, was now at the center of a criminal case. But here's the twist. While Diddy and Shine were stuck dealing with serious charges, J-Lo walked out within an hour. Just like that, charges dropped. Why? Well, legally speaking, if someone sits in the back seat of a car where a weapon is found in the front, and there's no direct link to them, the case doesn't stick. Diddy even faced the press later and made it clear, "I had nothing to do with the shooting that night in the nightclub. Nor did Jennifer." Still, the damage was done. The tabloids had a field day. Yes, she wasn't charged, but she was everywhere. Her name splashed across every front page, photos of her in cuffs flooding the media. For a moment, Jennifer Lopez wasn't Hollywood royalty. She looked like a gangster's ride or die. And just when it seemed like the drama couldn't get any deeper, it did. Prosecutors later accused Diddy of trying to pay off his driver, reportedly offering him $50,000 to take the fall for the gun. A bribe. Straight up. Imagine thinking that would actually work. In the end, after a long, messy trial, Diddy was acquitted. He walked away. But Shine, not so lucky. He ended up doing 9 years behind bars for that one chaotic night. And here's where the story takes a seriously scandalous turn. Because if you thought the original incident was intense, the aftermath is straight betrayal, courtroom drama, and accusations that could flip the entire story upside down. According to Shine himself, what really happened that night wasn't what we all thought. In fact, he claims Jennifer Lopez and Diddy set him up, that they turned on him, that they threw him under the bus, hard. Shine says, yes, he was armed that night, not with one weapon, but 2. One tucked in his waistband, the other hidden in his boot. And here's the wildest part. No one at the door searched them. They just walked right in. But what happened next? That's where things get murky. Inside the club, things exploded. Diddy got into it with another man, and tensions boiled over fast. Caught in the middle of the chaos, Shine reportedly reached for his weapon. But here's the twist. According to him, the shots that left 3 people injured didn't come from his gun. They came from Diddy's weapon. The very same weapon that, as Shine claims, was brought into the club by none other than Jennifer Lopez herself. and Nata Rubin, the woman who was shot in the face that night. And Nata, she's been saying for years that she saw Diddy pull the trigger with her own eyes. Back then, people brushed her off. But today, with everything else coming to light, her words don't sound so far-fetched anymore. And here's where things get even darker. Shine says Jennifer Lopez never once mentioned that Diddy had allegedly forced her to carry the weapon into the club. According to Nata, J-Lo kept quiet, all to protect him. After the chaos, Jennifer was the first to make bail, then Diddy. And Shine? He was left sitting alone in a jail cell. When he tried to reach out to Diddy for help, the silence was deafening. No calls, no visits, nothing. Shine says he was ghosted, completely cut off. And he believes it wasn't personal. It was calculated. According to him, it was Diddy's legal team calling the shots, instructing him to distance himself and act like Shine never existed. I think Puff's lawyers told him, distance yourself. Act like you don't even know this guy, Shine said. And that's exactly what Diddy did, but it doesn't stop there. Because just when you think the story couldn't get any messier, it circles back to Nata Rubin. During court proceedings, Nata claimed that Jennifer Lopez actually lied under oath, saying Diddy never had a weapon that night. This wasn't just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was a web of power, manipulation, loyalty, betrayal, a snapshot of Hollywood's darkest underbelly, all wrapped up in one night. But here's what's even more chilling. That infamous club night. It wasn't the only time J-Lo was allegedly in the room during Diddy's most disturbing moments. Word is, federal investigators have recently uncovered never-before-seen footage and photos from one of the darkest nights in Diddy's history. And Jennifer Lopez was allegedly right there by his side the entire time. Now, we've all heard whispers about this particular night, but what's coming to light now could blow the entire case wide open. Allegedly, the feds are closely reviewing resurfaced images from the very evening Diddy is accused of assaulting a 13-year-old girl. And in those images, Jennifer Lopez appears right there with him. According to insiders, the photos show Diddy wearing a white t-shirt and baseball cap, leaning against the wall, locked in an intense exchange with J-Lo. No one knows exactly what was said, but sources say the vibe was far from casual. Just minutes before, Jenny had been seen standing on a VIP platform with her sister, Linda, sipping drinks and watching the party unfold, while Diddy played host. And here's where things get even more disturbing. According to a lawsuit filed last year, a 13-year-old girl, referred to as Jane Doe, had been dropped off outside Radio City Music Hall, hoping to sneak into the VMAs. She had no ticket and no connection. But after being turned away, she approached limo drivers near the venue. One of them, allegedly working for Diddy, offered her a ride to an after-party, claiming she was just Diddy's type. Let that sink in. The girl is then allegedly taken to a private party, made to sign an NDA, one she never received a copy of, and handed a drink, a reddish-yellow cocktail that tasted like orange juice, cranberry, and something bitter. Not long after, she began to feel woozy, dizzy, and completely out of it. She stumbled into a room to rest, not realizing the door was unlocked. And that's when, according to the lawsuit, Diddy entered, accompanied by two other celebrities, one male and one female. What allegedly happened next is horrifying. Diddy reportedly approached her aggressively, asked if she was ready to party, and then assaulted her, while the female celebrity watched in silence. The lawsuit doesn't name that female celebrity, but based on the timeline, the photos, and J-Lo's confirmed presence that night, the internet is buzzing with speculation. To be clear, Jennifer Lopez has not been officially accused of anything, but people are connecting the dots. Her name keeps surfacing, her image captured at these events, her silence, her loyalty. It's all starting to feel like more than just coincidence, And that's exactly why Elon Musk and Joe Rogan dragged her last year, live on the Joe Rogan Experience. It happened right after Jennifer delivered an emotional speech at a Las Vegas rally supporting Kamala Harris, warning voters about the danger of putting Trump back in office. But Elon wasn't having it. He fired back, reminding everyone of J-Lo's past with Diddy, saying, "It's amazing how many people in the Diddy party list are supporting Kamala, too. J-Lo was his ex-girlfriend. And now she's warning people about Trump. How many people did she warn about Diddy? Oh, 0. He continued, saying people in the entertainment industry had to have known what was going on. And still, they fed him kids. Where's the accountability? Musk asked. They had to know. And suddenly, old Hollywood conspiracy theories about who really knew what start to feel less like conspiracy and more like deeply buried truths clawing their way to the surface. Now, with the FBI actively investigating Diddy's past parties, combing through guest lists, old footage, and sworn testimony, sources say no one is safe, not even A-listers. And as the walls close in, guess whose name keeps popping up again and again? Jennifer Lopez. So now fans are asking, was she just an innocent bystander, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or is there way more to the story than we've been told? Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other videos to stay updated on everything going down with Diddy. Till next time, bye.